You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. Now, the largest new media platform on the web and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Dean Johnson.
From the AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AfterBuzz TV's WWE NXT After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's WWE NXT After Show.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another NXT After Show right here on AfterBuzz TV. I'm Kathy Kelly. I'm pretty excited to be back.
Yeah.
It's been a couple weeks, but pretty stoked about it. And, of course, joining me, not to recap Total Divas, even though we are playing the Total Divas theme song.
The theme song? That's terrible.
What?
We're not here to recap Total Divas because, well, quite frankly, we're not fans.
I like the show. Speak for yourself.
I do. I speak only for me.
True
or
hobo.
this side of the table.
True hobo.
Is not a fan of Total Divas.
He's
He
wrong.
said it. That's okay. That's difference of opinion.
Okay.
All right.
And sitting next to True Hobo, Mark Donica.
Who has not seen Total Divas, but you know you can go back and watch season 1 of Total Divas on the WWE Network. Only $9.99 a month. That's a deal. Better than Netflix. I think he just harrowed his Kiri.
Off the rails already. But we did, I think there was a memo that went around that I just didn't get because everyone is wearing the same shirt except me.
Oh, you mean these Sega Powers?
Sega Powers.
Oh, no.
I mean, we'd shake hands to show our union, but the whole place would blow up.
Yeah,
it's quite dangerous.
Where can I get me one of those?
Well, if you would like to buy one of these, we may be able to make these for sale, but there's got to be enough interest from Kathy Kelly and the rest of the world.
Hey, Kathy Kelly wants one. That's a healthy
You'll
shirt.
make the supply if there is the demand.
Yes, exactly.
Got it.
If, I mean, who doesn't like light purple? You know, what was this?
Very royal
Lavender.
color.
Was it lavender?
It kind of looks
Lilac.
like. You know what it looks like? It looks like the color of white shirts when you accidentally wash them with fresh denim.
Really? Mm-hmm. Is that how they made it?
Denim makes it purple?
It does.
That's weird.
Fun fact: the dark
Science
denim.
Corner with
Indigo
Kathy Kelly.
jeans. Happens.
Kathy Kelly Science Corner.
See, I don't watch a lot of things, so I wouldn't know.
Bad laundry stories. I've gotten better. Anyways, talking about NXT.
I guess we should really start off with the bad news and all the releases and stuff.
I will throw that over to you, Mark Donica.
So many releases. So today, I mean, the biggest news today was that the duo is now complete. Alberto Del Rio got released today. Not oft seen in NXT. But Ricardo Rodriguez, we didn't have a chance to talk about it last week. He also got released last week. Yeah. Their 30 years running timekeeper got released today. And I feel so bad that I don't know the man's name offhand.
Yeah,
but bless him.
Myself.
His iconic timing is how we all know matches start and end.
It's a long time with a company.
30 years.
To be let go like that, I have to imagine he's got a retirement package.
I hope so. And then last Friday, after the NXT show, we found out, unfortunately, Garrett Dillon, for the second time, got released. That's, of course, Chris Christopherson's son. He was most recently known as Captain Comic on as a part of the Rosebuds, and now I guess somebody else is going to be Captain Comic if they continue. Captain Comic. Travis Tyler, Slate Randall, Mac Miles, and Danny Jackson have all been future endeavored.
It's rough.
It is rough, but with NXT and as evidenced with Garrett Dillon, despite this second time being released, doesn't mean you won't be in the company again.
No, you can always come back. That's sort of the benefit once you're in the company. You can always come back at some point. If you work hard enough, if you can find your way back, it's possible. But the letting go of talent down in NXT is just evident of the fact that it's quite crowded.
Yeah, and that's one of those things is we haven't really, while we've had a lot of releases in the last couple of months, we haven't had them for a really long time before that. I feel like they're just, right now they're making way for new talent. We know that they have interest in a lot of people. They've signed a lot of people recently.
Right now they're over in
So,
Australia
yeah.
doing a huge camp there, trying to see what talent can come out of the down under, I guess it's called, and so we'll just have to wait and see. But the loss of Alberto Del Rio is sort of important to our conversation in that it opens up a top spot on the main roster.
It does.
So who's going up, do we think?
Go ahead. Sorry.
I don't know that it means necessarily that someone's going up immediately. I think that
the people want to have the conversation. Let's have the conversation.
I mean, I think that Sami Zayn is definitely ready to go up. Adrian Neville, same thing. There are so many people that are incredibly talented down at NXT, and I think that that's why we like watching the show.
I mean, there are many reasons we like watching the show, but the clearance of Alberto Del Rio just makes me think how crowded the heavyweight and intercontinental scene is, and it might be time for a bigger cleanup, because if people keep sticking around as long as they do, then there will be no room for the people to move up. Like Adam Rose, very popular, and it's very evident on his run tonight with NXT, and in the crowds, the reaction is getting bigger and bigger, but he has nowhere to go because there's no room, and he might be doomed to that mid-card, no title thing. And the problem is that now, even more so now, people don't have anywhere to go, so they don't take offers from other people. There's no almost as good offers, but you get a better spot, sort of thing. It's another problem that came with actually no, like there was never really a problem after they bought WCW, because they made two separate shows, but too long-winded of a conversation. But I think there could be more room to be made, or else all of the new talent isn't going to be going anywhere.
It's just so hard to imagine that there's this huge Hispanic void left in the main roster now.
So what about Kalisto?
Yes,
or
that's what the possibility I'm thinking. It's just hard that the WWE doesn't have anybody reflecting a large section of their audience, which is Hispanic people.
Yes.
Well, it seemed like they were trying to build Mystico up to fill that void and the Rey Mysterio void, and with the problem with him, I think Hunico, it fills that spot wonderfully and deserves to be in that top spot. But they might fear that just the Sin Cara brand may not be strong enough anymore. And right now they're doing the whole thing with Kalisto and Sakara. We'll see how they do in the tag tournament. But if they split them up, then you can have the two of them fight each other on Raw and SmackDown.
Yeah.
I think that's almost too easy, though, because you can split them up and have them both gain something out of their each matches. It's hard to explain, but together you have two Hispanic guys and that's it. If you separate them and have them have different matches, you get the most out of it, and especially for the crowd. It's so ridiculous that they don't have anybody. I mean, do they have anybody in his sort of Hispanic in NXT? No, Camacho's gone. I mean, like an Alberto Del Rio, somebody who doesn't wear a mask but has that sort of gravitas.
Not on the tapings right now.
Nobody that's on TV. Really quickly, I want to say thanks to Joseph Bose in the chat. Mark Yeaton was the timekeeper that got let go after 3 years.
30
years.
30 years.
NXT, while we're talking about how great NXT is, there's a wonderful article that Bleacher Report put out about how the commentary on Raw and SmackDown makes the product less valuable and how people don't care.
Really?
And it hits a lot of really good points because they're too busy talking about the network. They're too busy joking amongst each other. And a moment of Zack Ryder breaking his loss streak was like at the last second they went, oh, he won, great. Now the WWE network is a great value, so it's not as engrossing as it used to be, whereas NXT, they have nothing to talk about but the action that is going on in the ring,
or the matches that are to follow,
or matches that happened the past week.
It's all very wrestling related, and I think that's why it's better commentary. There's too much multitasking going on during the other main roster shows.
So that's a lot of news to take in. But check out Bleacher Report for that article. It's a very good article. And why don't we get into the show?
Sorry to start off this show with somber news.
It's all relative, baby.
It is. I mean, it's part of what we should be talking about anyways. But let's get into tonight's episode of NXT. We start off with a tag team match, part of the tag team tournament to be the #1 contenders for those titles.
That's how it should be. That's how it really should be.
Yeah.
You gotta have, if you're holding the title, you gotta sit on top and make everybody come to you.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be fighting people every week.
Yeah.
That's how I look at it.
I agree with that. And we just found out that we have another one of their, what do they call them? They're not pay-per-views for NXT. They're
special
events coming up in September.
Yeah.
I believe it's September 11th.
All right.
So that's exciting. But yes, the first match of the night, Enzo and Big Cass versus Jason Jordan and Ty Dillinger. Enzo and Cass end up winning, but it just showcased, I felt like, how well of a team they are together.
Who, Dillinger?
Both of them.
Both of them,
Both
but
teams,
especially I feel like Enzo and Cass, because it's only been the past couple months where they've been back in action together, and just with the ending where, you know, Cass kind of saved Enzo, then did the big boot, and Enzo covered for the win.
It shows how tight-knit of a group they are. It shows how really, in a pinch or not, they care for each other. They're real strong friends, and no matter what, they've got each other's back. You don't really see a tag partner putting themselves in harm's way very often for their tag partner in that way.
Yeah.
Just totally dove in the way and saved Enzo. At the same time, that could build, if that type of action continues, that could build a resentment in Enzo
thinking that
like Cass is trying to steal all the glory.
Enough. Yeah.
Exactly. And that could build to that split that
I like it.
it could be fun, and I think they could Enzo's mouth against Cass's boot.
I didn't even think of that though.
Like that's immediately what I thought, like, because Enzo hasn't been on the winning side, because he's always at
Cass came into his own while Enzo was gone. So
there's a lot of stuff that you could build
he's
from.
his own person.
Yeah, Enzo definitely has something to prove here. I think you're 100% right. But they won tonight.
Yes.
Yeah. So
and
we're not going to see any friction soon.
I'm really sad. This is the first time we've seen Jason Jordan without his formerly trademarked hair, and I was right.
Oh.
He looks rather boring. He had a look about him.
He was definitely, the hair was memorable.
It was.
I will give him that.
And now he's just another shaved head, strong guy that exists in the company. Vince has a type, and I guess H has a type too. So it
goes to the saying that everybody's had for a long time. They don't know how to book their African American talent, so they all sort of cookie cutter them. Everybody looks the same. It's unfortunate. I don't know how we necessarily break out of this, but I think.
But don't you think that there are people, like Xavier Woods has hair? Like, it's not like every single person has shaved hair.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying in general, the Randy Orton look was a very popular look for a while.
Okay.
And I think now that you bring up Xavier Woods, I mean, maybe they're trying to make that iconic afro exactly. They're trying to give that look.
I thought their hair looked different though.
It does.
It does.
It really does.
To us, it does, but maybe we.
Now we're getting into a relations argument.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's a lot of talk for what Xavier Woods is going to be doing in the future with other African American superstars. And giving him an iconic look would help, and I guess Jason Jordan had to suffer for it. But it doesn't take away from their actions tonight.
Yeah.
And Ty got
talented.
Ty got a really good super kick off on Enzo.
But he did not cover.
Nope.
Mm-hmm.
A huge mistake. Albert was hollering from the desk. I'm sure they could hear him in the ring.
Probably.
Cover! Do you not want to win the match? Do you want to win this match?
No.
Then if you kick a man in the face that hard, you lay on top of him. They didn't look like they wanted to win. They looked like a well-oiled machine. They looked especially good. I felt that they perhaps were going to win because they need to solidify themselves as a team. I don't think they've... If they won, they've won.
They won their debut as a tag team, and I think maybe one after that.
Right. I think they need some momentum.
Yeah, there was the way that the the tag tournament is booked, I've got the standings here. It's really like the coming together, two superstars without any sort of a valid. It's very weird how they booked this, and I guess we'll see how it all plays out within the next couple of weeks.
And we have one more tag match tonight in the tournament that we're going to talk about. That was at the main event for this evening.
To your point about Jason Albert screaming at them, I thought that he had a lot of really good things to say tonight on commentary. I really appreciate the past couple weeks. I haven't really noticed it, but this week especially, he was saying things that I was like, that makes sense.
It was almost William Regal quality.
Exactly.
Calls.
He took. There were a couple of weeks or a couple of tapings, I guess, where he wasn't there on commentary, and it was kind of noticeable how he wasn't there because he has a very unique voice and type of talking, and it went from the. Now I wouldn't say overly comedic, but just the general comedic style that former superstars have on the mic to now there's a time for that. But there's a lot of action going on in the ring, and you've got to call it like you see it.
I've noticed with their groups that switch off, I feel like they've come into a really good groove with both of them. Like, it seems like they're all kind of playing off each other well. When I know that a lot of people who, watch our show were saying that when they originally put these groups together, they didn't mesh as well as we had hoped. But now I feel like they're all working well together.
It takes time. It's just like with us. It took us a while to get this good.
What are you talking about? We were perfect from the start.
No. Let's be honest. We're the best, but this wasn't,
you can't start out on top.
Now we just have great chemistry, and it seems like it's been there forever.
I love Beaker. Yeah, I thought that went over everybody.
No, but let's move on and talk about the next segment. Backstage, Renee Young is there with Sami Zayn. He says his tag team partner that was assigned to him isn't medically cleared. Then Tyson Kidd and Justin Gabriel interrupt, and he is basically told by them that he can't face the Ascension because they saw what happened to him last time. He says that if they forget, or if their memory's that great, they should remember that he pinned both of them. And just goes back and forth for a second. Then Adam Rose and the Rosebuds show up. Adam Rose will be tagging with Sami Zayn tonight. What are your thoughts on that?
Very unexpected.
Yeah.
I liked it, the ending with the lollipop.
Yeah. I did not expect Sami Zayn to take the lollipop. I think that there was something... Sami played this so well where he had the comedic timing right, but there was also just this little hint in his facial expression to the camera where he was like, I know this is a really weird thing to do.
It's like, I don't know if this is a good idea, but it sounds like fun.
I'm going to do it.
He's a caution to the wind kind of guy.
It's experimentation, you know. Everybody needs to try different things sometimes to find out whether you like them or not.
What was on that lollipop? I mean, I know it was a fun thing just to kind of throw away, but I wish that, they would haven't seen him in weeks. Would have loved to seen that he was assigned Corey Graves.
Oh.
But Corey Graves was like, I'm not medically cleared to fight.
He could have said
you're
Corey
on your own.
Graves.
And it would have been that sort of a last thing of where you get one last shot of the loner before he walks out into the sunset, and then you get then that kind of bookends that, and then you continue this other chapter that he's on. I just miss Corey Graves, and I'm real sorry that the hand that he was dealt.
Well, it wasn't even a hand that he was dealt.
Well, it's by fate.
Hey
Injuries,
man, stuff happens.
It does.
This business sucks.
That's one of those things when now, whenever I hear wrestling is fake, I'm like, no.
No.
They sustained real injuries, just like the little clip that they have every single show.
Yeah, the injuries are real. Show the people who have been injured.
I've had to tape my shoulder together the last few weeks.
Yeah, I know. I was the first one to do
doing better now. Yeah, you were.
Yeah.
Bad question.
So, next match, we have CJ Parker. He comes out first with a sign that says, "Stop frillicking fracking."
Stop
frickin' fracking.
There looked like there was an L in there.
Stop frilking fracking.
Frilking fracking.
Frilking, like Albert explained it, or
Say that
Riley.
5 times fast.
Stop frilking fracking. Stop frilking
Frilking.
fracking. Stop frilking fracking. Stop frilking fracking. Stop
There's
frilking
an L. I
fracking.
thought it was
Stop showing off now.
You asked me to do it.
Apparently he does.
I'm very compliant.
Verbal exercises on his drive over.
How now, brown cow?
I was going to say something I probably shouldn't have.
The Human Torch was denied a bank loan.
It's about my linguistic skills.
Ah, there.
And how I'm cutting.
Are they killing?
Yeah.
They're killing linguistic
Cutting
skills.
linguist.
Yes.
Anyways, so how did Jason Albert describe that sign? Could you please remind us? Oh, he just described it.
Yeah, he just explained.
And we were
what it
talking
was.
about how fracking was
Fracking
terrible.
was the opposite of fracking, which I still don't understand what either of those terms mean.
Yeah.
I know what fracking is. It's how they get the natural gas. They use water and bore down, and it causes mineral deposits to spread into water supplies.
Look at you.
The natural water
Someone's
table.
been watching the Discovery Channel.
Or you pay attention to what Jason Albert said.
I'm a learned man. May sound like this, but I got a brain.
Library books are free.
Don't have
They are.
eyeballs, but
If
you
you
got a
run
brain.
fast enough.
Nope, I got a brain.
it's
And I
back.
got ears. I got ears.
Gentlemen, Kathy Kelly has eyes.
I do have eyeballs. And I saw that sign, and I also heard CJ Parker say, "This is not a sign. It's a social message for change."
I like CJ Parker. The last few weeks
Yeah.
he's been evolving. He's been becoming, I don't know, just more callous. Especially in this match, I noticed when he would look at the crowd, the look of disdain on his face was. I loved it.
He hates all of them. They are all ruining his planet Earth.
And that's it. That's right there. And you can understand that in a moment.
Yeah.
And I liked how much they knew about his driving habits. He doesn't drive all the time. Oh, okay, well then what does he drive? Oh, it's a Ford Fiesta. It gets 40 miles to the gallon. Like, okay, sure.
Yeah.
Why not?
Cool. Keep it running. I mean, don't keep it running.
That's exactly
off.
what he doesn't want.
CJ.
The only power he uses is his strength.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He walks on his hands.
He could just use his feet.
Xavier Woods' music interrupts, and Xavier Woods walks out. We saw him be a lot more aggressive in this match tonight, more so than I think we've ever seen him.
He had something to prove. He lost last time.
Yeah. CJ ended up getting the win, but what were some of the highlights from the match for you guys?
A lot of I liked the CJ's big senton, how he just wouldn't. Xavier Woods has been getting the short end of the stick as of late. He's definitely been working, doing his job well.
Yeah.
But he really does kind of amplify how everybody else looks, and the match tonight was actually a really big showing of that, because he debuted the coast to coast splash at the end of the match, which was huge, and that's something that people know has ended matches before. And then CJ kicked out.
They looked really strong. Just both of them looked so strong. Just to start this match, CJ was scrambling, trying to get out of the ring. And all of a sudden, Xavier grabs the back of his tights and goes, "You want to go? You're going my way."
Yep.
Sends him out hard. Yeah, this was a hard-hitting match. I think there's been some miscommunications between these two in their past few meetings. Just small things, but noticeable. This time, I think they have finally come to the point where they're meshing.
Yeah.
Everything looked really good tonight. And you could tell the story. The story was right there for everybody to grasp. You have the smart guy who's ignoring the plight of the planet, and the man who is angry at everyone for doing the same thing. It's a great story. It's quite gripping, and I think the action in the ring really translates into the grand scheme of it all.
Yeah.
Stuff coming out.
Uh-oh.
I think I got a pin.
You did.
Damn.
That's
Sorry,
what
a
happens.
tech break.
Yeah. When you don't have a sewing machine.
Nope. Everything by hand.
available.
Ain't easy.
So anything else from this match, or?
The end was, I mean, all of it was really thrilling and
Yeah.
gripping. Like it was
That
he hit the like a splash and then blocked it, the rollover, then he hit a flat line like
That
face
flat,
buster.
that was a great flatline. CJ looks at the ref. What do you do? Bam!
Hits him with the
Ridiculous,
honor
yeah.
roll, the coast to coast toss, or the coast to coast splash, and just the fireman's carry like
Yeah.
DVD Death Valley Driver
Yeah.
type of.
It was. I think it was a neck wrencher. It's the way, at least the way it landed. He landed on his butt, but he kept his head, thus causing him to sort of accordion inward, causing a lot of stress on the neck and back, and giving you some whiplash.
Do you think we'll see CJ use that again in the future?
Probably, because the
Even on commentary, they're like, we love seeing this from Xavier or from CJ Parker. We wonder if he'll have a name for it. And
You need something more serious. What was he using before?
Well, he had the
It was
third
a
eye, but
Yeah.
then he started doing that spinning back kick. But I think after that big whiff, maybe they were trying to do something that was
Different.
like, something different.
more impactful. You need something impactful.
that was
especially for-
memorable.
Yeah,
what he did was
definitely.
memorable.
It's something
So
that you don't see every day.
I would love to see it more.
I agree.
After this match, we see commentary for a second, and then they say that they're getting a message from the back. We have to go to the ring because Eden has an announcement.
Only one thing it could be.
She gets on the mic. She says the #1 contender for the NXT Championship, Tyler Breeze, would like to direct everyone's attention to the Tron. He's on the Tron,
Hello.
and he says it's time to challenge Adrian Neville for the championship. And he says something about, what was it?
Once he like
The Wanna Breeze followers will get to finally enjoy the era of gorgeous.
the era of gorgeous, and he said, "Once I win the title and wash the uggo off." I mean,
What do you use to wash Uggo off?
uggo like probably Goo Gone. I would
Glugon,
assume.
is it? Okay.
Probably.
Because Uggo is sticky.
Yeah, it's a little
imagine.
bit and a little
The
little,
most
little oily.
expensive face wash from Sephora.
I think he would probably go natural. He would get it straight from Brazil. I think he's in Santorini, Greece right now. Like, so he would go right to the source and probably figure that out.
Maybe some like tzatziki to rub it off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
Okay.
I'm hungry.
You're always hungry. That's my secret. I'm always hungry.
So we're getting that match soon.
I think we'll get that at the.
I think
It's
we'll
gotta
get
be at
that
the
September
special.
11th
Yeah,
at the
it's
special.
gotta
Yes,
be.
definitely.
and
gotta-
nobody in
we
the
got a
chat
month
spoil
to
that for
build.
us
Don't.
if that's not the case.
Yeah, we got like a month to build this thing if it does happen then. So
think-
it should be hot. I mean, really should be hot.
I think they've got. I think it's like it's going to be the tournament for the tag teams, and then there's going to be that one last set before. I think they already taped the last set of
Shows
shows before the thing.
Okay.
And that's where they announced the new event.
Yeah.
So
Right.
So
Okay.
we'll have all the titles on the line. It'll be great.
probably.
Probably.
As always.
Yeah.
As it should
I'm
be.
sure we will. So next up, we have Bailey versus the Total Diva herself, Eva Marie. A very vocal crowd
How
tonight.
didn't like her.
Entrance.
I liked the part when she was sitting on the
box.
The box.
The
Like that
apple
was
crate.
unexpected. I was like, that's hot. That is hot. What'd you guys think?
Can I pass, Alex? It was weird. It was weird. It was new.
Okay.
It was different. I'll give
Yeah.
him that. But it was like they have to know the crowd's opinion of her. They should take that and use it to their advantage and just make her the total like. I mean, Charlotte's kind of queen bee as for the time being. But if you just turned her into the super spiteful person who's like just like you make her like the rich girl who was handed every opportunity and is trying to earn that, but I think at the same time she would have to put in her time too and
I
add
like
in that extra stuff.
She's like, you know, like you said, like she's been handed every opportunity because she's pretty or rich or whatever it is that they give her. Obviously, she's pretty, but
Then she
she
you
turns
turn her into
against
a
the
female
crowd.
$1 million man where she can start paying people off.
She throws the tantrum after she loses because she doesn't understand
Or-
why.
Or
She tries to pay off refs.
she doesn't hit a move like super clean, or it doesn't look super clean, and then she goes, "Damn it, let's do it again. We're gonna do it again," and just so. And then Bruce is like, whatever, and then gets even more angry and does the move again. She likes it. Good. All right, we're moving on.
Generally, though, the people that do that are really good at it because they're actually quite proficient.
That's why I'm saying she needs to put in her time too. But I'm just saying, Florida.
That is probably a brilliant.
If you're hiring, I could work out a resume or something and send it your way.
You know, we're always here. We're not going anywhere.
I'm just saying, that's two ideas that are Kathy Kelly approved. That's all I'm saying. So there's got to be something to them.
To her credit, she has been wrestling a very short amount of time, and she is one of the first from that crop that we've seen on television wrestling, on the tapings wrestling. Because she came in at the same time as Lana, who has not wrestled on the taping yet. She came in at the same time as Devin, who has only been doing backstage stuff on the tapings. And then several people that haven't even been seen in the tapings at all. So...
we got Pumpkin Page in chat. He says they edited the crowd about 50% on this match, probably to be a lot quieter than they were. And I believe it.
So how do we put a positive spin on this?
Go Bailey. Bailey got the victory.
Bailey looking strong tonight.
Bailey's gonna hug you. I mean, Bailey got a good amount of stuff in here. To mention the crowd one more time, I have to hand it to him. The worse than Batista chants. That was funny. It was bad, and it's mean, and the crowd is being very mean to Eva Marie.
They were vocal about every match.
Yes,
they're always vocal. They don't know how to be not vocal.
I feel like this week especially, though.
Yeah, no, I'll agree. Especially in the last match, there were some good ones. But the worse than Batista, I mean, it just shows more that the crowd is trying to be on TV about as much as the people who are trained to be wrestlers.
Yeah, there's a problem with people who think they're part of the show when they're not.
Yeah, like the crowd thinks that they have their own kayfabe to adhere to, and that's just
that hurts my brain.
That's annoying.
So bad.
Smart Marks. I know I call myself the Smart, but geez, you're giving me a bad name. There were a couple of spots that could have used an extra run if we're going back to that gimmick. There was the weird back slam after Bailey tried for a reverse for the roll up.
Well, you could arguably say that due to the angle at which she landed, her head went back and it caused a momentary delay in her ability to counter, and allowed Eva Marie to get in the upper hand.
Then this was something a little bit on the ref where they could have. It was kind of a setup, but there was the roll up when Eva Marie went for a vertical suplex another time or something, and you can never really tell with her. And Bailey went for a roll up, and Eva Marie's shoulders were clearly off the mat.
Nobody's shoulders were down. It was the inside cradle, and the ref was counting, and you could. From the hard cam, you could clearly see both of their backs. They were nowhere near pinned.
So the ref probably should have called that.
Ref.
But that's Eva Marie. I really hope that while she's down there in Florida, she gets worked with by she works on her stuff with Sarah Del Rey and all of the wonderful staff that are down there.
Right.
Can we talk about this for a second? So since Eva Marie and JoJo came in at the same time, Eva Marie so they were both on Total Divas season 1, started traveling with the company as opposed to the normal route, which is going straight to Orlando and getting professional training 6 days a week. JoJo, after season 1, decided not to continue on with Total Divas, to stay permanently in Florida and train there so she could be ready for matches like this.
Commentary, or she did the backstage interviews a couple weeks ago.
Exactly. So which do you think is better? Because Eva Marie is arguably more famous and more valuable to the company right now because she has more of a following, versus JoJo, who is probably further along in her wrestling training but hasn't gotten her face out there as much.
I think that Eva Marie is doing the opposite of what the company wants her to be, because if JoJo's working on her stuff, that's great. Then they have somebody who they can carry over from Total Divas to be like, look at the great work that she's doing. And I think the idea of having JoJo around and on TV every now and again, on Raw and SmackDown every now and again, is to be like, oh, hey, yeah, she's from Total Divas. You should watch Total Divas. But the problem is that as of her current showing, she hasn't been doing that strong of work to make people want to tune in to see her process, or at least that's for me. It makes me do the opposite as a fan, and
Okay.
as much as I like to consume as much wrestling content as I can, that's one where I was going to give it a chance, but after seeing what came as a result of it, I don't want to support it so that it can stop affecting the shows that I like watching.
It's a matter of negativity when you look at Eva Marie. She is more famous. You are right about that. She's way more well known, but she is not bringing a positive light to the television show that she is supposed to be promoting during her time
So
wrestling.
is that their fault then, that they're using her in matches like this as opposed to what has been done in the past, where she might be in, a tag match with 4 other girls and she gets 30 to 45 seconds?
Yes, it's about accentuating positives and hiding weakness.
Because the last time we saw her on Raw, I thought she did really well.
I don't remember the last time I saw her on Raw.
It was probably like 6 weeks ago.
Yeah, no, it was
in a match,
while
yeah.
ago. I think one of the problems is that NXT has a reputation of changing divas matches for the better.
Yeah.
And the problem with putting JoJo out there with her reputation is it didn't do anybody any favors. Like, Bailey got the story-wise, Bailey got
JoJo
a
or
victory.
Eva Marie?
You mean Eva
I'm sorry,
Marie.
Eva Marie. Sorry. Bailey got a victory over a diva that is on WWE television, who's the star of Total Divas. She's on Raw, she's on SmackDown, she wrestled at WrestleMania. So on paper, for Bailey, that looks great.
It was a huge win,
Yeah.
technically.
Yeah.
But from a fan's perspective, I mean, they were chanting at the end of the match, "Thank you, Bailey," because it was over. And I do feel like we are kind of ragging on Eva Marie, but I mean,
It's easy because she's got a big target on her. She's well known and she's not as proficient as a lot of the other people. But what this does mean for Bailey, being in there with Eva Marie, means they trust Bailey.
Yeah.
More
To
than a
take
lot
care
of
of
other
her.
people.
Yeah.
They basically said, Bailey, we want you to have this match with Eva Marie tonight. And what that means technically is we want everybody to look as good as possible. Bailey will look as good as she can because that's in her control, and she has the ability to make Eva Marie look as good as possible.
And now moving forward, she can say in her promos leading up to this next special, well, I beat someone on the main roster. Charlotte, what have you done?
And I
Right.
think they could keep essentially feeding those people to Bailey because she's gotten other big victories over other heel.
I mean, both
female
of them
superstars.
have,
Yeah,
yeah.
both of them really. But I mean, I think it just could be the start of Bailey going on a tear of, well, I beat all these people on the main roster. Of course I can beat you.
I mean, she wants to look equal to Charlotte so that if and when she has a title match, she looks like a really
formidable
strong
opponent,
contender, yes. But back to Eva Marie again. Her showing up on NXT, do we think that means she's down in Florida looking to better herself? Is that what this means?
I would say that it was WWE wanting to book that. I don't think that she has much control of, whether she goes to NXT to do a match or, I think that, I don't know.
It's hard to say.
Yeah.
I would like to think that the fact that she showed up on NXT means she's down there to really work on her craft and better herself, and that putting her on television is just a natural step. But we can't say
for that line of story where
I do
Bayley
think
wins.
that it was a good call on WWE's part to have her first full-length match on NXT as opposed to on Raw.
Hasn't she had a singles before? I figured she's had a
Really
singles before.
short. I think that this is the longest match that she's ever been in.
Really?
A singles match.
Singles match, yes.
Okay. So I got something here. Last time Eva was on the main roster was the 4-on-1 handicap match that set up Brie versus
Yeah.
Steph,
Okay.
which wasn't too long ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's see where this goes. This is definitely interesting.
Another good point. Maybe the fact that she was at NXT was to shoot something for season 3 of Total Divas, so that they could show her training.
Yeah.
Maybe it's all cyclical.
I mean, I don't know where she lives now, but I remember last year she was living in Florida.
Pretty much everybody lives in Florida.
Yeah.
It's just the place to live. If you're a wrestler, you live in Florida. Most of them. like the majority.
Some of them are scattered, though.
Right, I mean,
Around-
Daniel Bryan lives in Phoenix.
Regardless, from
yeah.
people that I know that work down there, I've heard nothing but good things about her. That she does want. She's a company woman. She
No, which is great. No,
such a
and
sweetheart,
we
yeah.
really do give it to her for that.
Yeah.
I think it's just a bad decision for the company
Yeah.
to show her hand so soon.
I think that that's part of it, though, is WWE, like many companies, they would rather help push someone who is a good person behind the scenes over someone who might think that they deserve something more than they are getting, or talk back or whatever it is. So
I can see that.
Yeah.
And if this is just building the ultimate underdog story where we see her entire rise to be that great superstar that everybody wants to see the people on TV succeed, whether they're a good bad guy, whether they're a good guy. And you want them to succeed because then you're enthralled and then you're interested in the television show. So hopefully with Eva Marie, we're just seeing the ground level, and her rise will be hopefully sooner than later.
Yeah.
And good luck on her part.
Yes.
We have talked the bejesus out of this topic.
So
But
main event, huh?
let us know what your thoughts are in the comments on YouTube. We're not done yet. We still have one more match. Yes, we do have one more match. I just want to open it up to fans.
It's easy because it was
to
a
give
good
us
match.
Their opinion.
We'll
Yes.
just go, okay, it was a good match.
So Tyson Kidd and Justin Gabriel versus Sami Zayn and Adam Rose. Sami ends up going over the top rope to take out Gabriel and Kidd at one point. Then Adam Rose gets on the top rope. Zayn sets up both of the men for Rose to take out. Zayn gets the win with the haluva kick.
Still
and
great. Still great.
Those two win to advance to round 2 of this tag team tournament. What do you guys think?
There are a lot of highlights of the match. Adam Rose didn't get a big chance to be Adam Rose, but when he did, it was way in the beginning. He got a chance to spank a couple of the boys.
But it also made him look like the weak link because they were able to counter on that, being the most seasoned competitors that you could have. They instantly jumped on Rose.
Yeah.
And the Tyson's Mistress chant. Speaking of the crowd being audible, you got the olays for Sammy. You got the sing along chants. You got the Natty's wife chants. And then you're like, what are they going to do for Gabriel? And they came through Tyson's Mistress. Wonderful. I thought that the Rose's dive at the end looked really gross. Like he just kind of went through both of the guys. And just landed on his butt.
On the steel.
It looked like it hurt when he landed on the steel, actually.
I feel like oh!
Sammy does that every week, and it sounds like it hurts, but he always just gets up from it.
He lands on his feet.
Yeah.
He's also able to roll off of them.
Yeah.
Poor Rose went right through the both of them and found the ground just right away.
Yeah.
Oh.
And sort of the last thing, since we got to wrap up, did you ever think at the middle of last year that we would see Leo Kruger and Sami Zayn teaming up in a tag team? It realized that it was like, holy crap, these guys are against each other months ago, and now it's like they work really well together.
Yeah.
It's weird. My only beef with this match is I feel that Kidd and Gabriel should have gotten the win. They really should have.
Okay.
I think Zayn and Rose are a good team, but I don't think they're going anywhere. I do not think that they're going to be winning the gold on this one.
It was weird that they advanced after. Like that's showing that they're super strong together if, the two of them who have never worked together technically are advancing.
And especially since Kidd and Gabriel they're the top tag team heel right now. There are nobody that the crowd is against harder than these two, so why wouldn't they just be able to rise up especially against Ascension, where you would have 100% clear everybody's for Ascension and against Kidd and Gabriel.
We could get a backstage segment where they Tanya Harding, Sami Zayn, or someone like they take them out backstage, and so they have to then advance over this injured tag team.
I guess we'll see next week.
We will.
Yep.
So thank you guys so much for watching us this week. Please leave us comments with your thoughts in the YouTubes. On the YouTube.
On the YouTube.
Some
tubs.
And just tell us what you thought of all the matches. Tell us what you thought about us. You can also talk to us.
Yeah, seriously, dense conversation. See, look what happens when you're gone. We have to have like thick volumes of conversation with you.
Also, you can find us on Twitter and all those other
Elsewhere.
social medias. Where can they find you guys?
At True Hobo, ProWrestlingTees.com/hobo, YouTube.com/SoapboxCarTV. Christian Rosenberg on again this week. He's such a jerk.
It's you and Chris this week.
It's me and Chris
Yeah,
playing Rumble Roses. We ever played that game?
Arguably the most offensive wrestling game ever.
And it's offensive to women.
It's
all women.
awful. It's awful. You can find me on Twitter at SoapboxMark. Let's continue the talk about NXT and the releases and stuff. You can find us at SoapboxCarTV, on Facebook at SoapboxCarTV. If you want a shirt, let us know if you want a shirt.
Say your powers!
What about you, Kathy Kelly?
You can find me on Twitter at Catherine Kelly. You can find me on Instagram at Kathy Kelly. You can find all of us here on Twitter and Instagram at AfterBuzz TV. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you again next Thursday.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz
See you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.
Thank you for watching AfterBuzz TV on YouTube. For more of your favorite after shows and interviews, subscribe to our channel here, and be sure to share your opinion on the episode in the comment section below here. We'd love to see what you guys are buzzing about. Thanks again. Buzz you later.